Ciao darlings, happy Taurus season. I got us some flowers for today. They're really, really lovely. My intention was to get a yellow star flower for the bouquet, but there wasn't one that was really popping. So this is kind of like a field. It's like some summer greens, some springtime. I have some eucalyptus that I like to kind of rub when I'm feeling anxiety. Oh, it's delightful. It's delightful. It's just delightful. I know. I've got my little house sweater right over here as well. And I literally have tissues hanging out of every single pocket. It's like, yes, I'm your fairy godmother across time and space, my darlings. It's so nice to meet you. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a mystic, a channel, a quantum healer. My purpose is to create an inspired and safe space for us all to find connection. And my quest, the quest that my guides have given me, is to help find and help guide the new leadership team for the awakened new earth. So I usually pop up on your feed, or usually, are sent one of my videos when you've either been repeating the same patterns over and over again. Maybe you're, more of a spiritual person and woo-woo and you need a little bit of grounding. Or maybe you come from corporate and leadership and you're an entrepreneur, a CEO of some capacity, and you're just like, why am I repeating the same patterns? Why is it that, this Mercury retrograde thing is actually a deal? A lot of people are just being activated right now, especially like my Gen Xers are getting super duper activated. So it could be that you're very new to this information. You're very new to the woo-woo, and I'm here to help you make sense of it. It's very confusing. It can be very overwhelming. And, I saw a little joke the other day where it was like people can get so caught up in their morning routine, and I have to meditate, and I have to journal, and then I have to drink the water, and then I have to exercise, and I have to do this, and then I have to do yoga, and then I have to have a green juice, and then I have to have a smoothie, and then I have to have pray over it, and then this, and it's like 5 p.m. by the time that you've actually finished your morning routine. No, I come from corporate, and I've been training teams and guiding others and being in leadership for over 10 years. So I'm extremely qualified to help offer you this information. I'm also a waiter in my human life. Like after COVID, I never went back to corporate. I was very, very grateful for that. So I just like bougie, food, and I always have a nice cup of espresso or coffee or tea or something. And this is my purpose, is to help you, to help guide you back to your most authentic self. So this is about being like the best and the brightest and the most hardworking or anything like that. Absolutely not. This is Taurus season. We want comfy, we want cozy, we want bougie, we want slow moving, we want to be moisturized, we want to be wearing the best of the best, we want to look our best, we want a good skincare routine. So this is the time for that. Yeah. It's taking me a few tries to even record this video because it's Aries season still as I record this. So I'm just like hopping around still. So I want to use the tarot card that represents Taurus for the pause. So please pause this video, go grab your coffee or tea, grab your journal. I'm going to give you some key dates to look out for in the beginning, and we're going to talk about what's going on and how you might be feeling. So go pause the video. Be like the empress. Awesome. And so this is what we've been coming from. The Emperor runs Aries. So this is the energy that we've had. Whereas we're more assertive. Aries is the infant baby ram, the first sign of the zodiac. I apologize in advance. It's my third time attempting to record this, as well as this Mercury retrograde in Aries. Pardon me. So I'm going to attempt to not fudge this one up. But this is energy that we're coming from. And this is what we're going into. Yeah. It's springtime where I live, and having the windows open. Like yesterday, I cleaned the car. I cleaned Thorin Oakenshield is the name of my car. He's a really stoic MF, and I love him so much. He's been with me for a while. He's a good guy. And I am just cleaning, spring cleaning, opening the windows, washing the outside of the windows. Who am I? If you've known me for a while, right? Yeah, I know. Enjoying cleaning. So as I was getting ready to record this video, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to title it in any capacity. I'm going to just get over it. What did I write down? Slowing down, the song Summertime, and We Have Leveled Up. A lot of people, and I've been talking about this for a little while, Gen X was super activated for the eclipse portal that we just went through. People are having spontaneous awakenings, and not so much in the way of, the early awakeners went through, where we wanted to be very hands-on with it. We wanted to be very experiencing things. I want my entire life to implode or explode. I wanted all this to happen. Or a lot of other people, especially my Aquarius risings, especially my Aquarius sun, moon, and risings, you're just kind of No, I just get it. I just get it. Can we just change the world now? So a lot of people, do not judge yourself or judge what other people are going through for their awakening. I don't even want to call it a spiritual awakening. You're just recognizing that everything that you've ever learned is kind of not what you've been taught, and the way that you get to decide to be in the world is all that matters. Being sovereign means that you are in control of your thoughts, words, actions, and intentions. You create the trajectory for your life. Yeah. Very empowered leaders are drawn to my work. Very, very empowered leaders. And so I may look ostentatious in my presentation, and I got flowers, and I got, my nice little scarf on, and she's got tattoos and earrings and stuff like that. But I'm spitting facts, and I'm very aware of that. So let's get into the astrology. Can you see the... Just want to turn it. There we go. So behind me is the general astrological wheel. It starts in Aries and goes all the way around over to Pisces. Actually, what I'm going to do is give you the key dates. There's a bunch of them. Do you want me to give you the dates first? Okay, I'm just going to give you the dates. So write these down, and I'm going to go over them all on the chart. So 19th of April is when the sun goes into Taurus. The 20th of April, we have a really big day, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus. Very, very exciting. I really love that the sun is in Taurus for this one, because I feel like it's going to really give us some grounding. I have 2 videos that are available for you, the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction part 1 and part 2. So I'm not really going to repeat everything that I've said there, but there are many resources for you available just on my page alone. So I can put the link for both of those below. So you don't have to go searching for those. On the 21st, we're going to have the sun squaring Pluto right over here. So squares, and actually I'm not even going to get into it each one, but that's like when you come up to an intersection and one's got to go and one's going to go. We've talked about sextiles for a little while, but Pluto is not really a key player in this, but because he's at 2 degrees of Aquarius, he's never been at 2 degrees of Aquarius in our entire lifetime. So it's just like we're awakening in a way that it's happening so naturally, and the planets are really giving us that you don't have to figure this out. This is happening energetically, this is happening cosmically, and the planets are supporting you. So I really, really love that. The 23rd, we're going to have a full moon in Scorpio at 4 degrees, which is honestly, like right now for me, it's just like after the eclipse portal that we've just been in, it's like, we're fine. Like normally Scorpio is like the lions and tigers and bears portion of the chart, but I'm just like, I'm jazzed about this one. It's going to be easy as pie. And so I have tons of resources that are going to be available for you. I have a full moon and new moon Patreon group. The link for that is always below. If you're keen, we go through, like we do deep dives into the new moons and the full moons. So those will be available for you. I post the introductory videos for that for free on my YouTube channel the day of, but I offer about a week and some change in advance in the Patreon group. We do an all signs reading similar to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction video, part 2. So that's always available. I channel my guides. Like so much information is in there, and there's a 7-day free trial for that Patreon group. So if you're interested, please go check that out. The link is below. The 25th, we're going to have Mercury going direct in Aries. Woohoo, liftoff. Badass. We're going to get into it. On the 29th, we're going to have Venus going into the sign of Taurus. Venus loves being in Taurus. So it was like a yes, queen. Very, very nice. And then on the 30th, Mars goes into Aries. And we're going to talk about all of this. I'm very, very excited. I said, look out. Yes, I'll get into that. And then in May, on the 2nd of May, we're going to have Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius. We'll talk about that. The 7th, we're going to have the new moon in Taurus at 18 degrees. We'll talk about that. Again, the Patreon group is for you. On the 15th, we are going to have Mercury going into the sign of Taurus, which I just said, nice. On the 13th and 18th, just honorable mentions, we're going to have the sun conjunct at the same point in the sky. Uranus and Jupiter shine on where lightning struck, or what lightning struck. So those are just the dates. So now I'm going to get into every single one of them so we can get going. Oh my God. I also want to highlight, I just want to eat that piece of chocolate really quick, that I have a sweet tooth. I am like a sugar baby through and through. I do not eat regular sugar unless it's a very, very special occasion. And I'm just grateful for the fact this is my last human life. So I'm enjoying the almond butter. I'm enjoying the sugar. I'm enjoying the ride. I just have to say and highlight that in no way is this just my information, but I've had enough clients as well as other light workers. I think Elizabeth April even mentioned this as well. Like, sugar has been a food group. Sweet tooths, craving that, enough so that I want to mention that, enough so that I want to say that if you've been ingesting more sweet things, more fruits, more, I use coconut sugar in my cooking and baking and honey and maple syrup. If you've been craving that, like literally I have like a coconut yogurt in front of me here. It's like sugar, 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 sugar. Just don't judge yourself. Just make sure that you're getting the protein that you need and that you're getting the crunch that you need, definitely so. But please don't judge yourself. Enough people have been experiencing that. In no way am I a nutritionist in any capacity. I do very, very quantum work. But if you need someone with letters after that last name, go talk to your nutritionist. But just know that if you've been craving that, you are not alone in this capacity. So let's get into it. And so, like I said, this is the general astrological wheel. Starts in Aries, goes all the way around over to Pisces. And this planetary amalgamation is where what we're going to have on the 19th of April, 2024, the moment where the sun, this guy right over here, goes into the sign of Taurus. It is no joke that the sign of Taurus, sun, moon, rising, they like money. They like money. They like comfort. They like what money brings to them. Truly. And I've made this joke. It was one of my most popular Instagram reels, where it's like, if you want to give a Taurus the best present ever, give them an envelope of money. I don't care how old they are. Just watch what happens. You will be their best friend for a very long time. And this is fixed negative earth energy. So if they trust you, it's there for life. Also, I found it to be very fascinating. If 17 is a key number for you, 1144, that's a key player. If you're into numerology, I'm very, very fascinated by numerology right now. It's honest to goodness. It's like when consciousness wanted to experience itself. So consciousness and math had a baby, and it was the worlds that we're living in right now. Everything is so perfect within its capacity. So I just wanted to highlight that we have on the 17th, or pardon me, on the 19th of April, the moment where the sun goes into the sign of Taurus, we have that same day, we have a conjunction when, two planets are the same place in the sky together as one, of Mercury retrograde and Venus going direct right over here in the sign of Aries. I find that to be fascinating and auspicious. My brain follows patterns and numbers and all these different things. And so because Mercury is retrograde, going backwards, the next time I was like, okay, well, because Mercury is retrograde, we're going to have another conjunction when they're both going direct, because Mercury moves a little bit faster than Venus does. And that's not until June 17th. And they basically go into the sign of Cancer, same day, holding hands. So I just found that to be fascinating. I found that to be interesting and worth noting. I was like, welcome to Sarah's world. Yeah, it's a fun time over here. Welcome to my table. Welcome to my world. I just need to eat this really quick. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like everything's perfect, y'all. Everything's so good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not about just palming it. It's the decadence of a delightful piece of chocolate. So, what do we know about Taurus? What do we know about the sign of Taurus? Fixed negative earth energy. And oh my God, there's so much that I want to say all at the same time. Because as I was setting up for this video, the energy of the bull really came in. And if you've been here with me for a little while, you know that it's usually a guide. It's usually I'm channeling one of my guides. And when I'm talking to you, they usually paint a picture for me over here. But the energy of the bull itself came through. And so what do we know about bulls? That's the sign of Taurus. They're not going to run until they see red. Very much like Leo. They're not going to budge. They're not going to get upset. They're not going to pop off unless it's actually worthy of them popping off. So Mercury being retrograde in the sign of Aries is really teaching us we really have to assert ourselves. We really have to stand up for ourselves, but only when it's a worthy cause. Only if that is a worthy adversary, something worth standing up for. Remember, you're worth standing up for. You got to stand up for yourself every once in a while, because the world's not going to respect you until you respect yourself. That was for someone specific out there. So just know that. It is okay if during this Mercury retrograde, you've had to set very healthy boundaries with people. If it was kind of like enough is enough type moment, that's okay. Just remember that that situation used to buckle you. Just saying, just saying. Look at how far you've grown. So with Mercury conjunct Venus in the day that the sun goes into the sign of Taurus, Mercury conjunct Venus in the sign of Aries, when the sun goes into Taurus, and Taurus is run by Venus, I feel like is a nice way, and with the energy of the bull coming in, to be like, you've been asserting yourself and you've been doing a really great job. It's going to feel awkward at first when, maybe you've been a people pleaser. Maybe you come from childhood traumas. Maybe you come from situations, narcissistic abuse, verbal abuse. If you're a divine feminine that's really stepping into her autonomy and her authority, but you're recognizing that you want to keep your softness. If you're a divine masculine and dude, my guy, you must be pissed. And you're just like handling that sort of anger with such dedication. Yeah, I love that phrasing, and I've seen it so many times where you have no idea the violence that it took to become this gentle. Yeah. It's like, when you were in school, and I know that that's like a non-flashback for a lot of us, especially millennials. It's just like, you got a substitute teacher and they're saying, excuse me, be quiet. And you're just all popping off and doing the things and all the things. Excuse me, be quiet. Doing the things. But the second that teacher just quieted down, yeah, you would shut the F up. You'd shut up. You'd be like, oh, Jesus, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And so I really would love for you to take as much time as you need between action and reaction to transmute that reaction to a response. Yeah, you are in no way obligated to react to that email, to that this. If, for my people that are in corporate, if by end of day, you need to say just hey, I got your email. I'm just going to respond to that in another moment. I'm just taking my time with it. If you need to give a preemptive before you do that, that's fine. The world will move on. And we know not to sign anything during Mercury retrograde, because if we're making decisions out of emotions alone, that retrograde is going to be confusing for us. Very, very confusing for us. That's a lot to do with, we have Saturn, we have Mars, and we have Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which is, Pisces is the baby ancient. So our assertive planet, which doesn't like being in Pisces, wants to be in Aries, wants to get things done. So if our assertive planet is in the sign of illusion and disillusion and a lot of water energy, expect there to be a lot of tears. Expect if you have to say something, you might cry while you're doing it. You might be shaking while you're doing it. But that's okay. But when our assertive planet is in the sign, again, I talk in lenses, these big old glasses. If our assertive planet, Mars, is in the sign of Pisces, baby ancients, disillusion, illusion, lies, people could be lying to you. So if your gut is going off, don't spar with a liar. Let them be where they are, and let karma, let the universe tend to that. Yeah, there's nothing that us as human beings can do that's the wrath of the universe. And I use the term God brazenly around here. A lot of you know that. So if that's triggering for you, just please insert the term universe, Gaia, Mother Earth, whatever you would like. But that's the term that my human avatar, Sarah, she likes to use that term. And it's all encompassing to the air that you breathe all the way to the farthest star in the farthest galaxy and solar system. So that is that. So the sun going into Taurus, I love that, the sun goes into an earth sign while the moon is in an earth sign as well over here. So I really, really, really love that. Money, values, access to resources. That's the stake in of the astrological wheel. The second and the eighth axis, this is the money axis. So money, please. So it's not so much that they're hoarders and they're just I need all the money for myself. They want to be able to acquire top tier everything. Yeah, I make a joke in the restaurant. Taurus birthdays, Taurus season, all of a sudden first and second turn into like the poppin' ones, where for a perfect evening out for a Taurus would be like, I went to go to Marshalls, I went to TJ's all day, I got a really great purchase on sale, I got all these stuff like at a nice discounted price, all top tier high end labels, but I got it in a very, very accessible way. I went out to first turn, maybe second turn, had a great meal, all is well. Maybe I took dessert takeaway, or I have dessert sitting and waiting for me at home, whether it be like this beautiful chocolate ganache, I have like my favorite ice cream, whatever that may be. I do my new skincare regime. I put on my fuzzy slippers and I just watch one of my favorite nostalgic movies ever. And my phone is on Do Not Disturb. And all I receive is just like my Venmo going off and going off and going off and going off. Yeah, any Taurans that are here, comment below and let me know if that's not perfect. Thank you. Or what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? Yeah. And please, Taurans, like just give us the Venmo. Just give us the PayPal. No joke. Just ask for it. Ask for it. Ask for it. So the next day, we have that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. What's on the 20th of April? I know. Yeah. Taurus season starts on 4/20 usually. Give or take a day or so. So if that doesn't tell you like the ridiculousness of Aries season, and I'm an Aries sun conjunct Jupiter, so I can speak to that. We're quite obnoxious when we need to be. And it's kind of like, we walk around as the main characters because we are the main characters, but Taurus right now, you kind of are the main characters because it's beautiful that you have this conjunction in your sign. Yeah. For my Taurus risings, like kings and queens. Get it. So I already have 2 full videos on this conjunction, and so I'm not going to repeat myself there. I'm going to put the links below, but it's kind of as if you can see where this is falling directly in your chart. It's like you can somewhat predict where lightning is going to strike. Jupiter is the expansive planet. Uranus is the galactic awakener. It's the lightning bolt energy planet. And, usually Uranus does not have a time period to it. So I love that we have that day to be like hyper-focus. So definitely find out exactly where that is falling in your chart. It's at 21 degrees of Taurus. And again, I have 2 videos. I'm not going to repeat myself anymore there. The next day, we have the sun squaring Pluto. So Pluto is our outermost planet. It's at 2 degrees of Aquarius. It's never been there before in any of our lifetimes. It's very exciting stuff. So this awakening is happening so powerfully. It's kind of like, what do you mean by awakening, Sarah? If you're new to any of that spiritual mumbo jumbo, the jargon, do you ever see something online that you're like, you're lying? And then you go to the comment section and there's just like facts and information and all of this stuff. Like you can spot a liar from across the room. You can smell them. It is just without question, our instincts, our animal instincts are coming out. Truly. It's a very animalistic time. Aries is the ram. Taurus is the bull. Lots of animal energy. Gemini is the twins and they're run by Mercury. So we're going to go back into the high mind. That's next season. We'll talk about that in a month. But right now, so we're going to have Pluto. We're going to look at this as lenses. Again, Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. I have tons of videos about that. I have a whole playlist on the longer range transits, and I have a Pluto in Aquarius part 1 and part 2. So definitely go check that out if you're new to this. So Pluto in our community, friendships, and wishes for the future. Aquarius. Like galactic stuff is going on. Awakening stuff is going on. And what's fascinating is that after the eclipse, we just had the Aries eclipse the other day, and the next day I had, some gym buddies of mine be like, I kind of wanted something to happen. I kind of was expecting something to happen. People are excited for things right now. People are excited for big change. People are excited for sovereignty and the ability to be able to kind of think for themselves. And so it's not so much this doom and gloom, this fear. This is not about fear. I did a whole Monday video. It was the day of the eclipse. It's called Just Be. And you couldn't tell it's a Monday video because the picture is put over to the side. So go watch that video about Just Be. There is no fear. There's nothing to fear outside of yourself. Seriously. If you need to do things to feel safe and to protect yourself or to get more things in the house, absolutely do those proper things so you can be sovereign. So you don't have to think about it and worry about it. This is like, yes, Aries runs the head and Taurus runs the throat, but this, Taurus is run by Venus. So this is heart energy. This is great, beautiful, big time to trust yourself and trust your knowing and trust your gut reactions to things, not what you can intellectualize, but what is actually going on. So when the sun, our collective ego, and when the sun, I like to think of the sun as a lighthouse in the sky. And I'm going to do an entire video about how astrology is really helpful when you first awaken and when you first are kind of like coming into this sense where it's like overwhelming. Dude, there's so much to do. We're just like, I have to look at every single thing that's ever happened to me. You don't. You don't. You don't have to get overwhelmed by all the things. I have to be the best version of myself. You don't. You don't. We follow the moon around here. Definitely go check out the Patreon group because it's a perfect time, new moon, to manifest in a specific part of your chart, and then the full moon where you release certain things in your chart. And I talk about that in the birth chart basics as well. The link for that is below. And when you're a Patreon, that digital download, it's like a 2-part video. I think it's listed as $777, very, very accessible. And when you become a patron, that is completely free. It's available for you. So I have as many resources as I can possibly offer for you when you are first coming into this. So know that where you are is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You couldn't mess this up if you tried. Just the fact that you're showing up, just the fact that you're here at my table means that you're keen to, and you have a growth mindset where you're like, I know that I'm a leader. I have things to do. I have to be efficient in my processes. I like to be efficient in my sessions. Like, granted, I do very long range videos and long range content, but like, there's so much information within here. So let's keep going. Sun squaring Pluto, it's kind of our collective ego, that lighthouse in the sky that's highlighting, okay, I want to focus on money, where Pluto's our deepest transformation is transforming our house of community, friendships, and wishes for the future. We've talked about the South Node over here in Libra, kind of like releasing old friend groups and old liars and old relationships. Relationships are drastically changing. Definitely go check out the toolbox. I have a whole playlist on different videos that could be very accessible for you right now if you're new here. There's a few people that are new here, so I just wanted to offer that you have tons of information and you're not alone. If relationships are changing, if things are falling apart, if jobs are changing, if your vibration is changing, the way you eat, the way you drink, the way you smell things, the way you act in this world is all changing, you're right on time, my guy. Right on time. Right on time. So the sun squaring Pluto, and, with Pluto going retrograde at the 1st of May, I find that to be that, things are changing for the better and things are coming into we're being very efficient in our processes as a human collective. But you're going to be faced with challenges, that squaring up to the intersection where one's got to go for the other to go. But remember, diamonds are created under pressure. So the universe, I don't even like to say the universe is going to test you. I don't like that phrasing. I don't like that mentality because that means that the universe is not on your side. The universe is going to present you with moments and situations and people for you to do it differently. So sometimes you'll be like, you remind me of someone in my life that you'll completely destroyed my life, or you're my core wound, or whatever this may be. Like, what is going on over here? The universe is gifting you an opportunity to act as your most authentic self. That had a lot to do with the new moon eclipse that we just had in Aries. It was conjunct Chiron. Definitely go check that video out. I'll put the link for that below. And it's still going to be palpable energy. Eclipses is like 6 months before and 6 months after. So that's still a very accessible video, but it'll give you the lens of Chiron and a little bit of what that experience is. So that's the sun squaring Pluto on the 21st. And there are so many other astrologers that I really respect and I listen to their content that will talk and prophesize a lot more of the outer, the macro, and it's like, oh, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and more often than not, they're spot on. I'll highlight the work of Pam Gregory as well as Evan Nathaniel Grimm. I really appreciate and respect them. The Energy Boutique, I've mentioned her before. I've been listening to her content for many years now, but that's not here at my table. That's not the way that I do things here. I really like to just have this interface with you one-on-one, and, definitely go watch my, it takes a certain level of disassociation to function in human life right now. I'm covered in paint. You can't miss that one. And just know that it's okay to be aware of what's going on out there, but to focus on your home, your team, your VIPs, your family, your flock, your crew, your company, because that's what's here and now, right now, and on your plate. So not that I don't believe that that's happening. The entire outer world is crumbling right before our eyes. And it's dark and scary. And there's a lot of really interesting things that are coming out of that. But I'm really here for you. I'm focused on you and you alone and what's on your plate and what you can do about your life. Yeah, we cannot change the world. We can only change ourselves. But by changing ourselves, we change the world. I think that hit. The 23rd, the full moon in Scorpio, that will be when the sun is at 4 degrees of Taurus right over here, and the moon will be at 4 degrees of Scorpio right over here. I will do an entire video on that. Again, the Patreon group is for you if you're interested in that. But honestly, it's like, this is going to be a cakewalk. Like, come at me, bro. Come at me. Come at me. You think that you can mess with that older version of me? You think that you think that you can get away with that? No, none of that, none of that. And so this is the money axis. That's what I was saying before. So Taurus, money, values, access to resources, fixed negative earth energy, and Scorpio, deep transformation, death and rebirth, whereas Taurus is run by Venus, Scorpio is run by Mars and Pluto. Very, very deep transformation, sensuality, sexuality. And so if you're very, very new to the astrological wheel, down here, this is the roots of the tree of our life. This is cultural family roots. Over here is the ascendant sign, our self, the mask that we wear to the world where we want to do things on our own. Over here is the descendant sign, our relationships, where we see God in another. Up here is our highest career aspirations, legacy, public life, fun, adventure. So after, we've gone through the relationships, the important people, this is where we like sign contracts with them. This is, shared possessions, wills, sensuality, sexuality, the people that you actually like mesh yourself with. And so, a really great parable that I'd read in a reference book was, if when we're moving, the second house is what we put into the box, and the 8th house is where we're moving, kind of the home, the landlord, the whole, like the contracts, those, the P&S and all that stuff. That's over here. So, we'll be releasing in a really beautiful way relationships that do not serve us. Shared contracts that don't serve us, all jobs that don't serve us. And this is happening so graciously and so gracefully, in my personal opinion and practice, that yes, it feels tumultuous in the moment, and it feels like we're kind of on like a rickety old like wooden roller coaster, but you're still strapped in. I know it's an old guy, but it's like you're still fine. Your soul knows what to do. Like, listen to your bones, listen to your body. And especially in a Mercury retrograde, wait until it's a resounding yes. Yes, the 25th is when Mercury goes direct in the sign of Aries. Woohoo, liftoff, badass. And I'm really not swearing anymore, so I apologize if that was really inappropriate. But so Mercury did not leave the sign of Aries for its retrograde. So it's kind of, we get a little windshield wiper. Mercury's going straight, scooted back, and then it's going to scoot forward. I think it's going to be at like 16 degrees of Aries, I want to say. 15 degrees, pardon me. It'll be at 15 degrees of Aries. And so that's 2 days after that full moon. And so that will be the time that I feel personally, this is citing irreconcilable differences in a gracious, lovely way. After the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, things are changing in ways that even, this is just coming to me now, I'm having a full body chill, that even our ego is like, oh my God, it's going to be painful. It's going to be this, it's going to be this, it's going to be this, it's going to be this. And all of a sudden we're like, oh no, you feel the same way too? I'm not right for you and you're not right for me. I love you. Be well. I'll never see you again. It's nice to know you. And I'm so grateful that we experienced that together. Yeah. And Mercury going direct in the side of Aries is going to be like, the communication is very blunt. We're shooting between the eyes, but we're going to have a heart with it. Taurus, Venus. I love that. I really love that. So the 29th, I really love this. The 29th and the 30th are really big days. Venus is going into the sign of Taurus. Venus will go into her ruling sign. And then Mars the next day is going to go into Aries. So what did I write? Like, yes, queen, and then look out. And Mars is going to be such an active player. What does it say? Assert to... Mars is a big player. Assert to... I'm sorry, my handwriting is in healthy ways. Asserting ourselves in healthy ways. I'll show you. That's what I was trying to read. Yeah, we're asserting ourselves in healthy ways. So normally, Mars being the sign of Aries, and natally for your natal Mars in Aries, it's like, look out. Yes, it's assertive. Like, just. No. My baby sister has that natal placement, and she's a Leo sun with a Taurus moon, though. Really, really nice. But as a child, like, she ran the show, the whole show.
Yeah, 2 fire sign parents. Oh my God. Literally, like, mom's an Aries, dad's a Sag, I'm an Aries, baby sister's a Leo, and my older sister is a Cancer. I know, like, beautiful. Granted, she's a Sag rising, so she had the fire in there, but she felt everything. She's like, "Why is no attacking?" And we're like smoldering within ourselves. It was a beautiful childhood. I'm so grateful for it. So that, you know, inner planets, Venus going into Taurus and Mars going into Aries within days of each other, I really, really love that. They're going into their home placements. So this says to me, you will know when to use that powerful machete of anger, when to pull back, when to just say enough is enough, when to say I really like this, I don't like this. With Mercury being direct, we're going to have healthy Mercury in Aries, healthy, assertive communication. But you will know, because it's in Taurus season, when you actually have to use that sword. When do I actually have to say no? When do I actually have to say yes? Listening to our body, very sensual. You know, this is a very sensual axis. Access to resources. Money can be so sensual. It's connected to your sexuality. Seriously, the way that you feel about yourself is how your outer environment is presented. Yeah, this is a video game. This is all a video game. We're literally consciousness running human avatars in a third dimensional matrix. It's been proven. You don't have to like question me on that one. That's just completely proven. So with these planets going into their home sign, it says, I know it might feel bumpy. I said that in the Aries season, the equinox, and that was God's caudalie. So that continues from Aries season over here into Cancer season. We're off-roading. It's going to feel bumpy. But the phrase that I gave in that video, which is like, yep, that's about right. Yep, that's about right. Find a phrase that works for you, that utilizes, that is your like, pause between action and reaction. Take as much time as you need. Yeah, we're not rushing around here. Not in Taurus season. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. All right, Pluto going retrograde. This is happening on the 2nd of May. It's gonna be May. Every time. You too? Literally every single time. Every time. Even almost like every day where I write the date in my journal, when I write my show, I'm like, it's gonna be May. Every time. Every single time. So Pluto is going to retrograde back into Capricorn for one final stance. This doesn't happen until September. I think it's September 1st. I don't even know if I have it written down. I don't even have it written down in my journal. My apologies. My apologies. But I think it's from September 1st until November 19th. But don't quote me on that. That it's going to be back at 29 degrees of Capricorn. I don't feel in my heart of hearts that, like, yeah, it's going to be like the final stands of the elites and things like that, but it's literally going to be like, what? Like the parable that's coming to me, and I've used this before in certain, actually private sessions. I don't know if I've ever given this parable here on YouTube, but imagine that someone is walking around with like, okay, so you're asking me why would I use this in private sessions? Okay, so when someone has awakened and someone is a more authentic version of themselves, but they're still acting like the old version of themselves, I want you to pretend that like you have a mask, like a face mask, like a Halloween mask, not like a mask, but like a Halloween mask of you. And you're just walking around with that Halloween mask of you. And everyone, and like you show up to work, you show up to the office, you show up to your shift, and everyone's just like, do they know that they're wearing a plastic mask? Did they know that we know that there's a more authentic version of themselves underneath that? Like, you don't have to wear that. We love the real version of you. And so that parable just came to me when I'm thinking about like the final stands of Pluto going back into Capricorn, where it's just going to be like, the news or whatever is like, do this, and they're just like wearing masks, and you're like, no, but cute, but no, I'm just gonna go live my life and not get scared by anything that you're trying to tell me to get scared by. Am I supposed to be scared? You're wearing like a rubber mask. That's kind of what I think that's going to be like. In no way am I nervous about it. In no way am I, it's like, there's nothing to fear around here. We're good. So I'm not concerned about that. The 7th, we have that new moon in Taurus at 18 degrees. Very, very close. 18, 19, 20, 21. Only 3 degrees off of the 21. Like this, and I find that interesting. You know, like this is at 21 degrees of Taurus. So I count because it's like normally I only do like a 1 degree conjunction that's like worth mentioning. 3 degrees is like the widest orb that I want to use. So it's close enough that like for new moons, when the sun and the moon are at the same place in the sky, conjunct, and where will everything else be? Oh, I didn't write it down. That's for the full moon. Pardon me. This is too far in advance. It's just, that says to me, we'll be able to plant seeds, like a really fresh seed where lightning struck in our chart to say like, no, this is actually now fertile energy. Like think of like a galactic lightning bolt with that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, bringing so much goodness there and so much manure, so much fertilization, so much delightfulness. And then you get to decide, sun, ego, moon, intuition, what seed to plant in that area of your chart. So definitely go find out where like 21 degrees of Taurus is, go watch those 2 videos, and where 18 degrees of Taurus is, if there's like a different, and yes, by degree, those can be big deals, big deals by change, where it's like, that's how specific astrology can be. And part 1 of that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is me trying to go around my guides, teach you how specific astrology can be. And part 2 is I go over all of the houses and I use my at-home grid. So definitely go check those videos out. Then the 15th of May, the last date that I really want to highlight, actually the third to last date, is when Mercury goes into the sign of Taurus. It'll just be nice because Mercury's been in Aries for a little while because of the retrograde. So our communicative planet is going to the sign of Taurus, which is more fixed negative earth energy instead of cardinal positive fire energy. So we're going to have a little bit more of a softer, calmer tone to us. It's kind of like, it's going to feel a lot more, and our, you know, information, our intuition, we might be getting just like download. I feel like it's going to really start to smooth out. Really start to smooth out. Yeah. Like the song that came through for this summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything that we say is going to sound like that. Everything we say. So instead of, it's literally like the song that had been coming through for all of Aries season was Down with the Sickness, like, wah! So it'll be nice to have a little bit of Ella coming through, a little bit of Ella and Louis coming through. So that's on the 15th. I'm really jazzed about that. Jazz. All right. So on the 13th and the 18th is when the sun is going to conjunct with Uranus and Jupiter, respectively. I don't remember how to say it. Sorry. It's Mercury retrograde. My apologies. And so shine on what lightning birthed. There's a lot of special attention that's being gifted to that specific area of your chart. 18, 21, a little bit outside of that. So I'd probably say between like 17 degrees of Taurus to like 23 degrees of Taurus. And then, you know, look at how that is trining the other earth signs, where it's, you know, highlighting what angles, what planets are there. Like look at where that is falling in your chart. It was 44 minutes as I said that. And like I said, the sun is going to, or pardon me, the moon is going to be at 11:44, day that this, the sun goes into Taurus, and Uranus at the moment that the sun goes into Taurus is at 21:44. So 44 is a beautiful angel number. I really love that number. So definitely I just love the universe sometimes. Shining on where lightning struck. Yeah, in Sarah's world, we celebrate this. There's no fear around here. There's nothing negative that can happen outside of yourself that you yourself didn't choose. Truly. Like, I haven't had the easiest. I haven't had the hardest. I haven't had, the most troublesome life in my world. I've been borderline homeless. I've had, childhood sexualizations happen to me. I've had all of these cuckoo pants things go on. But it made me who I am, and I'm awesome. And I'm worthy, and I'm great. And I'm here to help you help tell the tale and show you that you're not alone in this world. So I wouldn't change a single thing that has ever happened to me. I'm so grateful for it. Yeah, I'd heard that once. And, especially going into highlighted money, highlighted resources, highlighted values type of a sign, I want to try to leave you with some, really positive information. Whereas some of the wealthiest mentalities, or I heard this perspective where it's like, you're the billionaire if you would never trade lives with anyone else. If you would choose you every day of the week, every breath of what you've experienced, that is true wealth. Being able to go slow. Being able to take your time. Do whatever you want. Time freedom, money freedom. Yeah, money is time freedom. Money equals access to resources. Definitely, and we've been talking about this for a while, and it's one of my favorite things to offer, which is list out your top 5 values going into this season. Maybe that's something that if you would like a little bit of work to do after watching this video, what are your top 5 values? And what's underneath that? What do you mean by that, Sarah? For example, for me personally, money, I used to have money as like my top resource. And I really think that it comes from like the being borderline homeless. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish that on the devil. It's, you have to really make decisions when you're in that financial fear space that I truly would not wish that feeling or vibration on my worst enemies in this world, ever. Ever, ever, ever. And so what I recognized is that it wasn't the money that I valued. I valued peace. Being able to work with a client or 2 a day and then live the rest of my life. I'm a projector in human design. I'm a 33 life path. I'm here to offer you all of this. Like, it's a mastery number. Like I said, this is my last human life. I'm getting off the mothership. And so I'm grateful for YouTube that once my human avatar is dead and gone, you'll have access to this information, which is a blessing. I'm very, very grateful for that. And so don't get mad at yourself for where you are. Love up on it. Love up on what you do have. And smile and express gratitude as often as you can. The first thing when you wake up, it's not, oh my God, it's purgatory. Oh my God, I'm here again. I have to relive the same day over and over. I woke up. I have fingers. I have opposable thumbs. I can pick up my coffee cup. That's a win. That's a win. I can walk to the toilet without assistance. I don't have to press a button and have somebody come empty my pan. I have electricity. You have YouTube. We have access to each other. We're so blessed. We're doing okie dokie. We really are. I'm asking my guides if there's anything specific. I've had a lot of coffee today, so they're telling me to lay off the coffee. I'll be cognizant of that, so thank you. I'll have some more water. Clean water. After the excitement of Aries season, they are saying that doing like healthy detoxes in ways that don't make sense. They're not saying like go and like follow a bunch of people that do detoxes and do this and do this and do this and do this. But if there is anything that you ingest on a regular basis, take a day off from it. That's it. Yeah. I think I told this joke. It's not a joke, but I told this to, I think I mentioned this in a video for you guys. So I apologize. Just skip ahead if I've repeated myself. where I had a client and dear friend, and we do trade. I'm her client as well, known each other for lifetimes over. She showed up for our session the other day, and she was like, Sarah, when was the last time you went a day without coffee? And I literally was so triggered. The first thing that popped into my head was, oh, you can leave now. Yeah, get out. Get out. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. But I'm very grateful, and I'm very grateful for the people in my life that are strong enough and brave enough to tell me when I have a shadow, to tell me, hey, you got food in your teeth. Hey, that's also something. Yeah, I saw, a fellow local light worker in this area. She's a really incredible, beautiful woman. We've connected at the Soul Rebel Project concerts before, an incredibly powerful person. And I saw her in line at the cafe the other day. She had food in her teeth. And so I was behind her in the cafe, and I got my little compact out because I keep it with me. It's a beautiful thing. And I just went up to her and I was like, hey, girl, just take a look at that. If you respect someone and you see a queen with her crown to the side, you go right up to her and you straighten that crown. Yeah, you straighten that woman's crown and you tell her you go back out there and you shine. You look great. In restaurants, yeah, for my service people. Have you ever had food in your teeth when you go check in the bathroom and you're like, I don't really remember the last time I even looked in the mirror, and none of your coworkers told you about that? Yeah, I've come out before and I'm just like, y'all can go. Y'all can go. Thank you so much. So my guides are like, Sarah, beware of your coffee intake. I won't drink any coffee anymore today. Be aware of your shadow and be grateful for the messages and the downloads that the people around you give you. I'm listening now. They're like, okay, now that you've mentioned coffee enough, let me. For some of you, they're saying that you were so far against the woo-woo that now you're kind of like switching sides, and you're like, oh crap, I was over here, now I'm over here, and maybe you're political and you're over here, now you're recognizing how bad that is, and now you're going to the other side. No one is going to judge you. No one is going to judge you. Seriously. Like in 2020, and I won't repeat myself, I have an entire playlist on my Waking Up Post-Woke series. In 2020, I was they, them presenting, and I was like identifying as more of an alien. So I'm not in any way telling you that you cannot efficiently come back from things that are like, whoa, I did that? Okay. They're another you. So you showing up and saying, yeah, I kind of am integrating a little bit of this woo-woo. I kind of meditate now. I kind of don't drink tap water anymore. I'm getting off birth control pills. I'm getting the IUD out. Like their trigger, I have a whole video on what is a light worker and why do they trigger me so much. And I'll put that below. I'm going to do a whole video on, being grateful for the trigger, because like my friend telling me, Sarah, you're drinking too much coffee. I need to hear that. I do drink too much coffee. Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I don't eat sugar. I don't do all of these things. So it's like I can justify it and say like, oh, this is kind of okay. For my friends that my subscriber that, we don't ingest cannabis or we don't smoke cannabis anymore. I still ingest tinctures and butters and things like that. And so I'm able to like come back down to human because of channeling and stuff like that. And so I can sleep and things. But like, we're doing great. But it's peeling back the layers of the onion and getting to our full self. I'll leave you with this. There's this really like lovely, oh my gosh, I don't know his handle and I'm so sorry, sir. He's a wonderful Irishman and he's on Instagram and he's always out in the greenery and he attaches his microphone to like a big long moss stick and he just said, and Teal Swan speaks of this, everyone speaks of this as the buttonhole concept, where I used to be like a rage animal where it comes to like drinking and drugs and all the things, and it's just like, you're gonna have to feel your feelings eventually. I'm gonna have to feel the headache of no caffeine. I'm gonna have to have those sleepless nights. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I have been talking for a long time about waiting for my divine masculine partner to find me. I'm in no rush for him. There's lonely days and lonely nights, yes, but I'm learning to love myself, and I'm learning to fall in love with myself, and I'm loving saying no to people. Dude, on my birthday, I got multiple invitations to go out for lunch, a late lunch, an early dinner, all these things, and I chose to have my meal with myself. Every Sunday, my most precious day, I have to turn down clients that are friends. I literally spend that day with my VIP, which right now is me. Yeah, we can't really have those compartmentalized, like, oh, no, I can spend time with you now until the person comes, and then I'll make space at the table for them. No, the universe responds to your vibration. So if you're saying, like, no, I want to stay on the basement floor, I'm fine here, you'll just keep getting basement floor things. If you yourself go to that top tier vibration and stay there and wait for the things to be attracted for you, that's how energy works. I'm not going to tell you that it is not lonely. I'm not going to tell you that there are not many times that I've been crying on the floor of my apartment after I've cleaned it, being like, what's happening? Feeling your emotions. I'm not really painting the most beautiful picture, but I am. It's worth it. It's worth it. I would rather you feel them now than wake up when you're 70 and finally get sober and finally have these experiences and finally feel your pain that's underneath that anger, feel the pain and the loneliness that's underneath that, I'm not supposed to be with this person, but they're in my life and I'm, pretending. If somebody for you is like 5 out of 10, just know that you're 5 out of 10 for them as well. It's equal and opposite. It's equal and opposite. My guys are saying wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Happy Taurus season, my friends. What questions do you have for me? What's going on for you? What do you like about Taurus season? Are you a Taurus sun, moon, and rising? Comment below. Like this video if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you feel like subscribing to the channel for more information like this. Please also, one of my biggest requests for you and how you can best help me is by sharing this with someone. Truly. Like I said, I'm a projector in human design, so I have to wait for the invitation. So if you see me and understand me, please say, hey, friend that might still be in corporate or might be a little too woo-woo or too this or too that, and be like, hey, this girl kind of blends these things together. Please share this with someone that you think could utilize this information and that's interested in it. I feel so grateful and blessed that the way that I present information is accessible for so many different people across all time and space. Yeah. I'm Eastern Standard Time on North Shore Island in Massachusetts. Where are you? When are you? What is it, the 10th? What day of the week is it? It is the 10th of April. When are you watching this? What's new in your world? Comment below. If you don't feel safe commenting below, send me an email. It's always in the description. It's in my boat section. I'm always available if you need somebody to listen to. Yeah. And that's it. I love you. Vibe like this all season. Vibe away, my dears. I love you. I'll see you soon.